A friend of mine once said, Mark, you should produce a podcast. You create so much content. You write books, you do blogs, you do screencasts, and I think your people, your audience, would love it. And I said, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. I don't know if I have time, in addition to everything I'm already doing, to create a podcast. I'm Mark Barnes, and this is another edition of the Hack Learning Podcast. And obviously, I found the time because in just a few short months, the Hack Learning Podcast is published. It's live on iTunes, Stitcher, and in many other places. There's more than 25 episodes and over 7,000 listeners. Yes, thank you so much for that. I'm really excited to have you, and I'm really excited to be producing the Hack Learning Podcast. And today we are hacking podcasting. So as my friend encouraged me, and I appreciate that encouragement, I want to encourage you. And that's what hacking the podcast is about, because I'm going to talk about my fears about podcasting in the beginning, and then how I got to where I am now and how easy it is. Because another friend of mine recently said, I'd like to podcast, and I see that you're really churning out podcasts rapidly. How do you do it? And she said, boy, it'd be great to have a resource. And I said, what better way to do that, provide a resource about podcasting, than to hack podcasting on the Hack Learning Podcast. So here we go. So what I would like to do is talk a little bit about how easy it is to produce and publish a podcast in minutes. You see, when I was told I should podcast some time ago, I was afraid because I had actually researched podcasting, and at that time what I found was that there were a lot of steps to it. I knew people that were using 3 and 4 different platforms. They were using different tools to record, and then they were uploading their recordings to another host. And there was a lot of editing involved, and it seemed like an immense process. And I want to tell you today how you can create a podcast episode, much like I'm doing right now, and how you can have it published and live in multiple places, including iTunes if you like, and you can do it in minutes. So I want to tell you how I produce the Hack Learning Podcast, and I'm going to talk about the platform I use, which is Spreaker. And you can learn all about this at the show notes at hacklearning.org, and there's graphics there and links. And I want to say, first of all, as a disclaimer, this is not a paid endorsement for Spreaker. I like Spreaker because someone directed me to Spreaker and said, hey, when I said, podcasting's too hard, someone said, well, you should take a look at this. So what I found is that Spreaker, it's very hacky. I love it for hack learning because it makes podcasting so easy. Now, what you can do at Spreaker.com, you can find these on the show notes. You can see all the pictures and things that show you how easy it is to do. When you're there, you can set up an account, and they have both free and paid versions. But you can get started for free very easily. Set up an account, put in your profile information, and then there's a tab called Shows, and you click on that, and you'll see a picture of this at hacklearning.org, and there is a button called New Show. Now, when you click on New Show, Spreaker brings you to a production page, and what I love about this is that they've put it all online. Now, you can put a Spreaker app on your device. You can literally record, I've done it, from your device and publish to all of your channels from your device. Now that's fabulous. But if you're sitting at a desktop, you can do the show, and this is what I'm doing right now. You can do the show from your desktop, either from your downloaded recording tool from Spreaker, or you can go live from Spreaker using the web-based console. Now, if you already have an audio, you can import it very easily. There's so many different things you can do here, but once you go to web-based console and you click record, you are taken to the Spreaker studio. And that studio is so simple. If you're thinking, well, I don't know anything about audio, I don't know anything about recording, I don't have the tools, it doesn't matter. If you have a desktop with a built-in microphone, you could start. Now, if you're going to get serious about it, you're going to want to upgrade your microphone a little bit, or the sound quality is not going to be great. But you can do it. You could go from your smartphone and hold it up to your mouth after you use Spreaker Studio and click record, and it'll sound pretty decent. So it's that easy. And from there, you click start and you start talking. And this is what I'm doing right now. You can go live. Once you have an audience, you can broadcast live to your audience. It really then becomes a radio show. And people can come in, and there's a place where they can type if they're using the Spreaker, and they can type in comments or questions as well. And that's really cool if you want to get to that place. But you don't have to go live. It gives you the option of recording it. And it'll ask you for a title, for a brief description. You can put in keywords if you like, and then hit start and start talking. There's effects. You heard the audience effects earlier, and they're right on the studio. Right there on your right, it says effects, and there's multiple effects. So if you want the audience, there's a little picture of some people clapping. Click on that. And they're clapping away. And there's other pictures on here as well. I don't know. Do you want it to storm in your podcast? There it is. And that is a click, literally. It's on effects. It shows you the circles. There's a little lightning bolt. I click it, and you get the effect. Now, we're not huge on effects here at the Hack Learning Podcast, but if you want them, they're great. Imagine using this in a classroom. If you're an educator, a lot of our audience is made up of educators. Imagine being in a classroom. If you've got a web connection, you could put your kids on Spreaker, and they could record a podcast in class so easily. Boy, they would love those effects, right? What a great way to engage reluctant learners. So I'm just recording. When I'm finished, I'm going to hit stop on my recording, and from there, actually it's pause. I'm going to hit pause, because if let's say I had to cough or something, I could hit pause and cough and then hit it again and start. But once I hit pause, it'll bring up a stop button. I click stop, and from there, Spreaker walks me through what else I want to do. Do I want to publish live? Now, if you want to set this up for iTunes, Spreaker does it all for you. So when you go into your settings, and there's a great shot of this on hacklearning.org on our podcast page, and it'll show you in your settings, there's all kinds of things you can do under your profile data. You can connect your social networks so that when you publish, a link goes out to Twitter or Facebook or other places telling people that you've got a new podcast episode. It's great. That's what it's about, right? Let's share it out. You can get email notifications if you get new followers on Spreaker. And then there's one that says RSS feed customization. Now, this might sound, for some people, crazy. You go, I don't know what RSS feed is. I don't get this. This is why I don't want a podcast. This is what I used to say. Spreaker walks you through it. It's so simple. It will create an RSS feed, and that's really simple syndication. And all that means is that it's creating the link that you then add to iTunes. It will walk you through adding to iTunes, and I kid you not, I did this in about 5 minutes. And then you're on iTunes. You can tell people, hey, you can get my show on iTunes. It's great when people ask me about the podcast, and I say, hey, Hack Learning, we're on weekly. We do 2-3 shows a week. We give you quick hacks for learning. We make you better, and it's on iTunes. People love to go in there and just download it, and then they get it whenever it's updated. There's a screenshot at hacklearning.org from Spreaker that'll show you how easy it is to take the feed that Spreaker creates. It gives you a link to go to a Podcast Connect on Apple. Click in there, put it in. It'll populate all your information, and you'll be live on iTunes right away. It's that simple. Spreaker is the easiest tool I have found. And again, this is not a commercial for Spreaker. This is not a paid endorsement. It's just me telling you about a tool that I use and that I like. By the way, I almost never edit these episodes. See, I think that's hack learning. We talk about simple solutions for problems. If you have to get into a whole bunch of editing, podcasting can get difficult. We don't want it to be difficult. We want it to be easy. I almost never edit. This episode right here, I'm sitting at my desktop. I'm talking about Spreaker. I was looking at the Spreaker site just to sort of give me some ideas. I don't have any typewritten text. It's just me talking about something and telling you how you can use a tool to be successful. That's Hack Learning. So check out Spreaker today. It's linked at hacklearning.org. You can start your show right away. You can play it back before you send it live if you're afraid it won't sound good. You can use effects. You don't have to use effects. You could edit if you wanted to, but you don't have to. As I said, I'm not going to edit this at all. I'm going to hit stop in a minute, and I'm going to hit publish, and it's going to be live for the world. That's Hack Learning using Spreaker. Check us out at hacklearning.org. Tweet at us at #HackLearning. Follow us on Facebook. As always, check out a Hack Learning book at hacklearningbooks.com. Hack Learning is a proud member of the Education Podcast Network. See other great shows similar to this one at edupodcastnetwork.com. Thanks for joining. See you next time.